How you doing, everybody? Is the sound and the video okay? Just wanted to check to make sure I got everything going right. Javi, Abdul, John, Neff. Hey, Big Sal. Hey, good to see you all. Um, Rancher, El Rancho Grande. Hey, Flippin' Zippo. How you doing, man? Canadian Watch Monkey. Hey, David. Ah, okay. All right. Let's get going because I think the topic might be something that we're not likely to exhaust anytime soon, but I think it's one that might be a fun one to talk about. And the and it would be one I don't think there's any one sure thing opinion about, especially with this group. Okay. Hey, Thomas, and when you salute in a beret, you bring the tip of your hand to the edge of the headgear. How's that? Okay, uh, okay, guys. So let's get started. What I wanted to talk about was somebody, a young person saying, "Hey, I want to collect watches and I want to get started. Could you give me an idea of 3 watches, not the brands or anything else, but mechanical and, different types of watches." So, anyway, um, let me tell you what I'd probably start off with. I mean, with most, collectors, I think one of the more obvious things to start with is a sports watch. But I probably wouldn't. I don't think I'd start with a sports watch. I'd s I'd probably start with what I call an office watch. These are watches that you wind up or use on automatic, and it's an everyday kind of watch. And if you're gonna collect watches, I think it's important to have ones that you're gonna wear. At least that's my opinion. I know some other people could care less whether they wear it or not. If they get a watch they really like and it's a good investment, then you know. So let's get some ideas from you guys. Hey Lee, how's it going? Hey Rick. Um, okay, all right. I had my idea, which I think would be one of the things to get would be an office watch. Okay, what do you start with is having the collector determine what is the most important attributes to them. How do you do that? How does a new collector know? You might have to start s- somewhere else. One of the things I was thinking, if somebody said, I want to collect watches, what should I do? What I'd suggest, go take a watchmaking course. They have some online ones. Forgot the name of it. They got a couple, and I think that what's his name? Peter Speak Marin has one too, and there are a lot of other ones that are online. I mean, just to really learn about watchmaking, so that you're not totally blind. I mean, some people collect watches forever, and they really don't know too much about what makes them tick, except in the most general terms, like it winds up, or it's automatic, or it's quartz. Okay, so let's have some ideas. Research, read, watch, listen. Yeah, okay, I agree with that, Rancher. That's what the first thing before. But let's say if you say, okay, now, all right, I've done all of that stuff, and now what do I do? I mean, what kind of watch would you recommend? Hey, we're talking about somebody with like a young person just starting off, maybe with a student budget, not with a lot of money. but just getting going. That's something that would sort of put them, I think, on a decent path. Hey, John, how you doing? How are things in Singapore? Uh, hey, Tim. Andrew, how are you? Okay, Tim. Hi, Tim. Yeah, happy holidays to you too and everybody else. I think, okay, Abdul, I think the first decide is how many watches do they want? Now, this is the first three, Abdul. We gotta start them. We gotta start them slow. I mean, I don't know how many watches I want. How could a beginner know? I don't know. Maybe I should do that. Okay, how many watches do they want to have, and what is their budget? Okay, yeah, you got to know the budget, but we're assuming sort of a student or post-student budget. All right, someone who just going out into the workforce and they get the bright idea from the devil that it's a good idea to collect watches. And so they say, oh, okay, well, I better go and I'm going to go ask Abdul or the rancher or one of these guys, what would be the kinds of watches, first three watches I ought to get? And so let's hear some more ideas. How about an Omega Constellation Globemaster? Okay, now Lee, this is what we're looking for, not the brand, but just the type of watch. What is an Omega Constellation Globemaster in terms of a type of watch? Okay, Big Sal had a friend reach to him about to spend $1,000 on a Seiko for a first watch. Turned him on to a $400 Hamilton Kaki, and that's a great wind and wear starter. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that is a good one. Uh, Dive watches are easy to sell, and in the past recommended Seiko SKX. You know, um, I th- I like Seikos for starting off. Now, the ones I like are really starting. I mean, the type of watch would simply be, I guess, a Seiko 5 might be an office watch, but it also might be, a yard work watch. It could be a lot of different things. But um, Hamilton. There's sort of a series called the Jazz Master by Hamilton. I that I really like. But going back again, we got to back away from the brands because we know brands pretty well. And here's somebody getting started, and they're thinking, not only do they not know the brands, they don't care about resale. Okay, so don't bring that up. Oh, you get one you can resale. Excuse me. If you started in investments, yeah, that's one thing. But this is for watch collecting. Hey, Andrew, don't prioritize. There you go. Don't prioritize resale value and don't accept others' opinion at face value. That's very good advice. Unless it's a rancher, he'll give you good. He'll give you good tips. Hey, lease time 65. Uh, let's see. There needs to be some empirical evidence, decent rationale behind the beliefs. Don't be afraid of secondhand. Yeah, I agree. Um, I think that we don't like to call them secondhand or used. They're pre-owned. I see. There's this one car dealer I saw has them pre-loved. I don't know. Stainless steel, auto slim, 38 to 40. Now I think I like that, Lee. I agree. First of all, you know, the price of gold has just gone mad. I mean, I think it's over $2,000 an ounce now. Um, it in around 2000, right around then, it was gold was about $200 an ounce. And so, if you're looking at some watches from the early 2000s, there may be some good deals there in part because gold was so inexpensive, and you can pick up a gold watch for a lot less. But I do agree that starting off, you better go with something less expensive. The other thing too, not everybody gets addicted to it. You know, it's somebody who can, unlike us, can go out and smoke one cigarette, never have another one. Watch collection doesn't seem to be like that. We'll smoke the whole carton all at once. Let's see, Thomas, what's up? I currently have about 1,500 euro in watches. Looking to spend about 6,000 euro maximum. Now have a Hamilton Khaki Field, Zelos, Mako Titanium, and Seiko. Okay, Thomas, that's fine. Now, come on, let's see what kind of watch. We're just looking at what kind of watch. Um, Looking for a chronograph and a dress watch. Okay, now those two I think would be good ones to add. I mean, just sort of like as sort of a general thing to talk about. Okay, let's see what we got here. We're just looking for one watch, everyday dress watch, perhaps an oxymoron. It is and it isn't. There's some jobs that I think require a good looking watch. I mean, somebody who's taken an executive path um, is, you're not expected to have on some cheap swatch watch. Um, but it can make a difference. And I think, one of the things too, I think we got to think about. Um, She was a few months ago, I ordered a new, band, okay? This is my watch band story for today. Ordered a new watch band from Rousseau, or is that it? Jean, Jean Rousseau, okay? They have these really fancy, really nice watch bands, and what I wanted after a great deal of consultation with including this group, what color do you think would be the best one to go with an FP Journe Chronomaster vein? And they said uh, the agreement was, the consensus was a nice blue shiny gator. And Rousseau has some great ones of this. So I got a hold of them and I got a WhatsApp note from a guy in Paris. Now I was dealing with the New York boutique, I guess they have for Jean Rousseau, but apparently they're all handmade, and they back to Paris they go. I didn't realize that, but in terms of having it just right, I wasn't sure that I'd get the dimensions right, because if you get the dimensions wrong on a strap, it can really mess things up. So what I did, I had an extra FP Journe strap, a brand new one. By the way, too, if if any of you have FP Journe watches, and you send them in for FP Journe service to their Miami service center, when they're finished with it, they send you a brand new band with it. And those bands are about 800 bucks. They're really expensive. So anyway, back to my story. So I'm getting a new band for my FP Journe, and so I sent them my band to the New York place, figuring, they have some workshop there and they'd whip it up for me and I'd have it in no time. Well, it didn't work out that way. Apparently, they sent it to Paris. I didn't realize that. Took them forever to do it. So finally, the other day, I inquired again. I said, what's up with my band? It's been, a couple months now. And they said, "Ah, it's all done. It's all ready." And I said, "Okay, now don't forget to send back my FP Journe strap." They had a picture of it with my "Please return this," even in the same envelope. Okay, so I'm going to get this new shiny uh, blue band, blue gator band for my FP Journe. So then uh, I thought, man, this is great. Now I've dealt with FedEx and some other international things before. Here they're sending me 2 Gator watches. Now, for those of you who have been involved in this kind of thing involving Gator watches, you know what the problem can be. And you get a thing, so I'm sending in my tracking number and it says exception. Oh man, I'm thinking great. because the exception means they got somebody at customs who's, like, they got it off of the wrong gator. So anyway, I think, but Rousseau has such a good reputation. I thought if anybody could figure this one out, they could. Well, I called FedEx at their international number, and the guy there was really helpful. He said, He says, "Well, they haven't got it yet, or something. It's going to be out in no time at all." That has never happened before. No time at all. Forget about it. So anyhow, next day, I get this thing on my thing. It's back on track, and I'm supposed to get it today. Then my wife tells me, "This is gonna be your Christmas present." So, you can't open it till Christmas. Anyway, I got off track a little, but what I was gonna say is you can buy a very economical watch and then go out and, spend a couple $100 on a band. Spend $300 on a band, you get a Rousseau, and man, I tell you, that will transform the watch from, sort of a junky looking thing into something really nice. And, in fact, I wanna get an orange one for this watch. I think it'd be great, an orange shiny gator band. That would pop it up. Okay, enough of that. Back to the topic. Okay, Tom, you like the, Powermatic 80? Okay. Uh, Koji? Yeah, I don't have one yet. I've heard nothing but good things about him. So this is gonna be my first Rousseau. I like an idiot, I go down to FP Journe and get them, but they're crazy expensive. Anyway, that's another story. Okay, Neomatics are great watches. Abdul, you're talking about Nomos. I agree. Nomos, I think, would be a great starting watch. Um, John, a Chinese mechanical chronograph. That might work. As a matter of fact, I think I may have one. Yes, I do. This one I got. I'm probably going to send it to my brother because he has one of the greatest inexpensive collections. Oh boy, I can't get it out of here. But I got this one. This is a Chinese. I think it's a chronograph. Um, Watch. What happens is that I get a bunch of these watches, and uh, on for reviews, and most of them are. I'll put it this way: very economical watches. But something like this, it's a little automatic. Um, this is a Chinese brand called Wan Hao. You can see it there. I probably mispronounced it. Anybody who would speak Chinese better than I do. But this is a nice little watch. It's got a one-way bezel on it, and I thought, oh, this is a great watch to have, for somebody starting off. And these things are only like 70, $80 or something. And this is an automatic. It's not a quartz. Quartz, they have a lot of these in quartz, but this has got I'm not sure what they made it out of, but it has a ceramic like finish on it. But I think it's sort of some kind of coating over that. And then the movement in the back is a Chinese made, $70. You're talking about something that's got a rubber strap on it, and so you can this be a watch you want to take to the beach or something like that. It's not going to impress anybody, but it is automatic and it is something that is not expensive whatsoever. Um, but I don't know if I'd recommend that right off the bat or not. It's something the one that I tell you, and I know this is gonna bore everybody silly, I still, um shout out for Aaron Bespoke with Combat Strap. That's another one. That's another great strap maker too. I saw a one of those straps on one of, Rancher's watches, and it transformed it into a really very cool looking watch. Um, anyway, what I was going to say too is that the one I like, and the only thing I don't like about the Powermatic 80, it's it's my thing with silicon. Okay, that's it. I like the Powermatic 80 because it runs at 3 hertz. I like that. Probably very, very accurate would be my guess. In fact, I don't know. There may be CCOSC. I'm not even sure. Um, anyway, with the Powermatic, yeah, I know these things are. Like I said, that's my thing with silicon. I wouldn't recommend a watch with silicon in it, especially if you're going to recommend somebody take a watchmaking course. You go, okay, I'll get my toothpick and work with a regulator. You're not going to do that with a silicon hairspring. They don't regulate. They stay what they are, and they probably stay accurate. Hi, Junior. How you doing, Junior? Junior. Mark G. Good to see you. Um, there's a million jazz masters out there. Should be able to find a pretty one. Flip and Zippo. Yeah, there's something else too. We usually don't think about this, though, but it's true. You can get great deals on pre-owned on some of the lower end of these. Anyway, the one that I sort of my perennial I recommend is the Tissot Heritage uh, Petite. Let's see, Petite Seconde. Okay. The reason I recommend it are two things. One, I like hand round watches. Two, it runs at 2.5 hertz. And well, actually, another third was if you're starting off in watches, you should be able to see your movement. And that's one thing about the Tissot Heritage Petite Seconde. You can see the old movement in there. What it is, it's you need a uh, Unitas ETA 6498-1. And to me, that's just a super delicious watch. The other good thing about it, since it's not beating up your movement like a rented mule running at 2.5 hertz, you're not going to have, it's less likely to fail because of just, sort of wear and tear on it. And if you ever get into watchmaking, that's something you can go in there and pop the back off and take your old toothpick or something like that to adjust the regulator on it. So I think that's how come I keep recommending that watch again and again. Doesn't have any silicon in it. Okay, so that's one kind. What are some other kinds that you guys would like? Okay, hey Thomas, how you doing? Tom A. Good to see you. Um, yeah, Powermatic 80 is available with or without silicon. Hey, John, thank you for that. I didn't know that. Um, a while back, I reviewed it and thought it was the greatest thing in the world, but I don't remember whether it had silicon or not when I did that review. But I do like that movement. I think it's a great 3 hertz, 80 hours. Mm-mm. Okay, let's see, Andrew. The strap tailor in the UK seems to be gaining reputation as making great quality straps at a reasonable prices. Good to know. Okay, we got three. None of well, some I guess are sort of in there. The guy in Canada, and let me see what's his name. I don't want to call him guy in Canada. Um, the Aaron Bespoke, Aaron Bespoke combat straps. That's in Canada. Jean Rousseau is, well, we have one in New York, but mainly they're in Paris. The other one is the one you just mentioned. Uh, hey, Mark G, how you doing, man? Um, let's see, Lone Jeans, Lone Jeans, yeah, they've got some good ones too. I agree. Uh, okay, the Smith PR-25 was a great field watch if you can get it from Time Force website, but it's like a lottery ticket. Yeah, the Smiths, I've seen some stuff on the Smiths watches, very interesting watches. I meant the Venus-based chronograph, okay. Alright, let me see what else is going on here. I'm running down. Uh, why do you dislike silicone? It looks amazing on women. Ah, Canada. You've been in Canada Watchmaker, you've been influenced by the rancher. Jesus. Okay. Hey, Lynn. Citizen got me into perpetual calendars, inexpensive and eco drive power reserve is forgiving. Yeah, Lynn, isn't the eco drive, doesn't that run, and I could be wrong about this, doesn't the eco drive run a quartz movement though, or a quartz regulator? I think it does, but I'm not positive. But citizens, just your plain vanilla citizens with a automatic or a wind up. That's another brand I think that might have some really good buys. Same with Seiko. A great entry watch, German Bauhaus watches, Junkers. Yes, that's a great one. That's a very good one. I like that. I picked up on an early bund and loved it. Okay. Um, let's see what else is going on. The hobby is a journey and it should be fun. I think the first criteria to pick up a watch should be that you like it, mostly based on aesthetics. Mark, I don't know if I agree with that. I understand that you don't want to wear an ugly watch. Um, I had there's there's a watch with a great movement in it by a company called Leinfelder, which is a German company in Munich. But they've got some of the ugliest dials in the world, and so I would agree with you on that note. I wouldn't wear the thing to a rat fight. But they have this wonderful movement. They have the UWD 31.1, I believe, is the movement in it. That's the one that Marco Lang made when he was at Lang& and Heim. But man, that's a terrible. I mean, they just blew it they could have had just a simple dial and done great, but look at the dials and they're creepy. Um, Aaron makes beaver straps. Well, he's from Canada. They got lots of beavers up there. What are the odds? He makes custom straps, and his last name is Bespoke. I don't know. Uh, got any Macular blue, slightly above 6K? Yeah, Junior. Oh man, that's a watch I really like. The Panamatic Lunar. That's a nice watch. I also like their inverse one too. But probably starting off, that might even 6,000 might seem like a lot. Uh, I love the looks of Geo 60 dials. I agree with you, Thomas. Those are great looking dials. I also like the way they have a different annual one. They had an orange one, a green one, a blue one. That's a very cool thing. Zenus has some nice ones. Yeah, Zenus. This is a good, there are a lot of overlooked Zenuses that are good buys. They're really good buys. I think good for starting off. Uh, First edition Omega Aquaterra is also a great piece. Everyday wear and good value. Yeah, I like that watch. That is a cool watch, Big Sal. Um, hey Robert, for a novice, always recommend Hamilton. Can't go wrong with that. Price point. Well, yeah, they are a good one. But Longines and Hamilton both, couple Swatch brands, they do have good watches. One of the things about them, they both have ETA movements in them, but they're not sort of the bottom of the line ETA movements. They usually Longines and Hamilton have a say and say, well, we want this or we want that in the movement that comes out of ETA. So I think there's within Swatch, you can get some pretty decent ones. Not that they're bad to begin with. They've got a lot of neat movements in there. Okay, I don't think Swatch System 51. Thing I don't like about that, John, is that you can't do anything with it. I mean, it's sort of like glued in there, and I think it's silicon too. Hey, Washington, Christopher Ward. Oh, wow, you're right. Christopher Ward is another one of those great companies for people to start off in with some really good deals on watches. Okay, it's frying pan time to lower the boom. Listen, this afternoon, what I want to do is to look at what we tried to do this morning was to look at different types of watches. And I thought we'd come up with something like, a dress watch, a sports watch, a chronograph, stuff like that. This afternoon, what I'd like to do is to take a look at watches that are brand watches and look at starting off at different levels. Okay, you can start off right at the ground floor, starting at sort of in between and starting at high. So get some ideas and let's hear from you guys. You had some great ones this morning. Thank you all for coming, getting up so early. You guys in Europe and some in China, guys in Asia, thanks for staying up late. And the guys in Europe is the rest of the West Coast. All right, never mind. Okay. Hey, hey, Gromel, Sequel Star 6. We'll see you guys later. Take care and be safe. My God, this stupid coronavirus is COVID 19 is back again. Mwah. I was planning to go to New York during the Christmas. It's really cool. I don't know if we're going to do it now. Take care.